Hey, today you're gonna hear the story of how I lied to my school that I was gifted. So pretty much in grade 4, they make you do this gifted test, right? It's like a series of questions where you have to memorize the list that they give you, and like maybe 20 minutes after you have to recite it, right? So I do the test, everything goes well, and I don't hear back from these people. So I'm like, okay, there's probably a good chance I failed. So I ignore it and I go on with my life. So like I think it's like 4 days later or the same day even. My sister just starts making fun of me, right? I'm like, okay, keep in mind I'm like 9 years old at the time, so everything annoyed me. So my sister's making fun of me, right? So I'm like, yo, get off my case. So the best way I thought it was to get back at this, I'm like, yo, let's just tell her you're gifted, cause then she can't call you stupid then. And like, yo, 9-year-old me's like, oh, why aren't you a child prodigy, man? Genius idea. So I go ahead and tell my sister, oh, yeah, I passed the gifted test, so you can't really say I'm stupid. And she's like, oh, really? Oh, good for you. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm a G. So, so like the next day, right? Or a couple days after, or even the same day, I go downstairs and my sister's talking to my mom, right? And my sister's like, "Oh, by the way, he passed the gifted test." And my mom looks at me. She's like, "Oh, really? Oh, good for you." I'm like, see, this was my free pass. I easily could have been like, no, I really didn't. I was just doing it to get back at my sister because she was annoying me. But no, and 9-year old me's like, dude, so much power in your hands. You're like a Greek god. Just take it. So I'm like, yeah, I did pass the test. And she's like, wow, good for you, good for you. So I'm like, okay.
Okay.
So days go on after, and my mom's like kind of curious about the topic, right? Because I didn't really give her much information about how everything went. So she's like, so what's this whole program about? And literally, I had no idea what these answers were. So like, I couldn't answer any of her questions. So she was kind of left clueless. So like to get answers, she secretly went to my school behind my back without me knowing and talked to the office for questions, right? So clearly we have two scenarios. My mom thinks that I'm gifted, but I'm really not. And the office knows that I'm not. So like that's kind of embarrassing. So like the office is questioning her like, "Oh, wait, he's not gifted." So obviously there's an elephant in the room. So I get called down to the office, right? And the administrator who is doing the gifted test, right? She's sitting in her chair, like waiting for me. And I'm like, hi. And then she's like, oh, hi. Today your mom came in asking about, like, the gifted test? Because she said you told her you were gifted. Is this true? I'm like, yes. And then the first thing she asked me, I easily could have gotten it out of the side. She's like, were you lying to your mom about saying you were gifted? Nope. I'm like, 9-year-old me's like, dude, you're too in deep. You gotta keep with it. Take it to your grave, man. I'm like, I'm like, yeah, I am. But she clearly knows I'm not, because she was the one who administrated the test. But I told her and my mom that some guy, uh, he was doing like extra testing on us, right? To see to like run more tests or something. And well, clearly this guy actually existed, right? So she's like, okay, what did the man look like? Okay, so my brain stopped. I think of like the most generic answer. I'm like, he was pretty tall, brown hair, and he was white. So, and then like, yo, to my luck, this is the spot on description of this guy, cause he doesn't question anything. I'm like, bro, I actually think I'm a god. Okay, so like, and she's like, when did he test you? Where did he test you? I'm like, I start giving all these bogus answers. She wasn't really questioning them, so I assumed I was right. But like,
Okay.
okay. So pretty much after she's done questioning me, I go back to class and I leave school early because I had a doctor's appointment that day. So like, my mom literally knew all this information, and something obviously wasn't adding up, and she's like, okay, you have to tell me the truth. Did you or did you not lie to me? See? Finally, something in 9-year-old me's brain is like, okay, let's just end this. So I like start crying, right? I'm being, I'm being a little bitch pretty much. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't even know why I did it. I was like, "Ugh." And then she's like, oh my gosh, you know how embarrassing that is? So like, pretty much the moral of the story is, don't lie. Like, pretty much just gets you nowhere in life. And the second moral would be, if you're gonna lie, make sure you're good at it. And like, if someone gives you an exit out of a lie, take it like it's a free pair of Crocs.